What is up, everybody? So yesterday they revealed what was written inside Brian Laundrie's notebook. Now, as you can see by the images on the screen, that is what Fox News posted. Now, I had a very difficult time reading that, but somebody else went through it and typed it all up, which made it much easier to read, and I'll go through it with you now. I will also put up the typed version on the screen, so if you have a difficult time like I did reading that, you'll be able to read this one a little bit easier. This is what they are stating was written inside Brian Laundrie's notebook. Gabby, I wish I was right at your side. I wish I could be talking to you right now. I'd be going through every memory we've made, getting even more excited for the future. I can't live without you. I've lost every day we could have spent together, every holiday. I'll never get to play with, and this person couldn't make out this word either, again. Never go hiking with TJ. I loved you more than anything. I can't bear to look at our photos to recall great times because it is why I cannot go on. When I close my eyes, I will think of laying on the roof of the van, falling asleep to the sight of a meteor shower at the Crystal Geyser. I will always love you. If you were reading Gab's journal, looking at the photos from our life together, flipping through old cards, you wouldn't want to live a day without her. Knowing that every day you'll wake up without her, you wouldn't want to wake up. I'm so sorry to everyone this will affect. Gabby was the love of my life, but I know adored by many. I'm so sorry to her family because I love them. I considered her younger siblings the best of friends. I'm so sorry to my family. This is a shock to them as well as a terrible grief. They loved as much, if not more, than me. A new daughter to my mother, an aunt to my nephews. Please do not make this harder for them. This occurred as an unexpected tragedy. Rushing back to our car, trying to cross the streams of Spread Creek before it got too dark to see, too cold. I hear a splash and a scream. I can barely see. I couldn't find her for a moment, shouted her name. I found her breathing heavily, gasping my name. She was freezing cold. We had just come from the blazing hot national parks in Utah. The temperature had dropped to freezing. She was soaking wet. I carried her as far as I could down the stream towards the car, stumbling, exhausted and shocked when my knees buckled and knew I couldn't safely carry her. I started a fire and spooned her as close to the heat. She was so thin, had already been freezing too long. I couldn't at the time realize that I should have started a fire first, but I wanted her out of the cold back to the car. From where I started the fire, I had no idea how far the car might be. Only knew it was across the creek. When I pulled Gabby out of the water, she couldn't tell me what hurt. She had a small bump on her forehead that eventually got larger. Her feet hurt, her wrists hurt, but she was freezing, shaking violently. While carrying her, she continued to make sounds of pain. Laying next to her, she said little, lasping between violent shakes, gasping in pain, begging for an end to her pain. She would fall asleep, and I would shake her awake, feeling she couldn't close her eyes if she had a concussion. She would wake in pain, the whole painful cycle again. While furious that I was the one waking her, she wouldn't let me try to cross the creek. Thought like me that this fire would go out in her sleep, and she'd freeze. I don't know the extent of Gabby's injuries, only that she was in extreme pain. I ended her life. I thought it was merciful, that it is what she wanted, but I now see all the mistakes I made. I panicked, I was in shock, but from the moment I decided to take her pain away, I knew I couldn't go on without her. I rushed home to spend any time I had left with my family. I wanted to drive north to let James or TJ kill me, but I wouldn't want them to spend time in jail for my mistake, even though I'm sure they would have liked to. I am ending my life, not because of a fear of punishment, but rather because I can't stand to live another day without her. I've lost our whole future together. Every moment we could have cherished. I'm sorry for everyone's loss. Please do not make life harder for my family. They lost a son and a daughter. That's what was in Brian Laundrie's notebook. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments below, and I'll see you again soon.